95.9 WATD. Rob Hackala and Beth Foster. And it's time now, as we do every week at this time, to welcome Dr. John Hayes to the studio. For a better experience at the doctor's office, try Dr. John Hayes' new, highly personalized and affordable direct primary care practice. Find out more at drjohnhayesjr.com. That's drjohnhayesjr.com.
Hi,
Morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Rob. Good morning, Beth. Good morning, Paul.
Paul is here as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
our
good to
intern.
be with all of you guys this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, it's great to have you in the studio. So, Doctor, what did you want to really address this week in the segment?
So, last week we spent a lot of time just kind of really discussing in depth prediabetes, the dangers of prediabetes, how it can develop into diabetes, and so on. And we had just so much feedback from it. But there have actually been some significant developments in the management of both prediabetes and diabetes that I think would be best to address. As I just told Beth, this article that you'll see on a blog, which is drjohnhayesjr.com/diabetes, is actually in the process of being updated because so many new things have happened that can really, really help patients with both prediabetes and diabetes. So that's really cool. But one of the things I wanted to just kind of back up and talk about is prediabetes is dangerous. Some people never develop diabetes, but having prediabetes by itself is not negative. I mean, it can really be concerning for a lot of people. We talked about pain patients that we have, neuropathy patients that we have. A lot of these people have metabolic syndrome or prediabetes, and they don't even know or aren't monitored frequently enough to know that their hemoglobin A1C, which is a significant marker, is elevated. Also, their fasting glucose may be elevated. They don't even know. However, one of the biggest breakthroughs in managing both prediabetes and diabetes are what are called CGMs, continuous glucose monitors. So one of the first ones that came out was the Dexcom, which is prescription. Another one, which is really fantastic that I order a lot, is the Libre. But there's also a new one called the Stelo. And the cool thing about the Stelo is the Stelo CGM, or continuous glucose monitor, is actually over the counter as long as you're not insulin dependent. This is a game changer because what a CGM is, it's a small little sensor that we can actually place in the back of our arms. It stays there for 2 weeks, and it continuously monitors our glucose. That's the terminology CGM. The advantage of this for pre-diabetic patients is that if their diets are out of control or they don't know they're out of control, they can assess what the response is to certain meals. Now, we've spoken about this before, carbohydrate control and so on, but everybody is different. Everybody has unique responses to some of these foods. And the patients that I've been working with, especially my neuropathy and pain patients that have gotten CGMs and followed the CGMs, it is a game changer because they, for example, went to a restaurant and they go, oh, my God, I had no idea what I was eating was affecting my blood sugar that much.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to fix it. So next time they make a change. Or patients that are, let's say that they work a whole lot, they have a hard time, getting good food throughout the day and that type of thing. They've learned to develop better habits simply because they have the CGM. They say, oh, my God, I had no idea what I was eating was affecting my blood sugar that much. So the CGM is a game changer. And in my not so humble opinion, it's something that I think every pre-diabetic and patient should have access to the Stelo, which they do now, and diabetic patients, of course, probably should be on the Libre or the Dexcom.
I think I've seen this device.
Yeah, I mean, the CGMs are a game changer, especially when you have a physician that can work with you and explain to you how you should use it as a tool, and how it can help you not only monitor and manage your diabetes or prediabetes, but also help to really, really help with your medication. Because when we see what's happening with medication on an ongoing basis, we can make adjustments much more regularly.
So this is a device that is manufactured by a bunch of different, is there one that you recommend?
Well, for the over-the-counter one, the Stelo.
That's what you said.
Yeah,
okay.
The Stelo is a really good one. The other two ones that are prescription that are really good, the Dexcom is phenomenal. The
Dexcom.
And the Libre, especially the Libre 2, is also phenomenal.
So this is it's a protruding, almost sticker device that people wear on their tricep area.
Well,
is that
yes.
what it is?
So it goes into the soft tissue in the back of the arm.
So it does have a slight needle to it?
Yes.
Okay.
It stays there for 2 weeks. You don't even know that it's there. And the nice thing about it is that it's generally really accurate. The only time they tend not to be particularly accurate sometimes could be like the first hour in the morning or the first half an hour if you've been sleeping on that arm especially, because basically what's happening is it's not monitoring the blood per se, but it's monitoring what's called the interstitial fluid, which is the fluid between our cells.
And where does the data get sent to? Is it hooked up to an app?
Yeah, you sync it to your phone. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, when they first came out, you needed a device, but now you don't need the device anymore. You can just sync it right to your phone.
Everything can go to the phone.
Yeah.
And then you can export a data sheet and send it to your doctor?
You can export the data, and you can send it to me. Yep. That's been cool, too.
Okay.
That's been really cool.
Yeah, so I can see how that is a game changer because, having the most information is key.
Well, it is actually. You know, we've spoken a lot last week, and we'll touch on what we can today about managing and helping patients with diabetes. But I think the CGM is really key. And the other thing I want to mention, too, for our listeners today, if you'd like to talk about this stuff more next week or do a deeper dive into this, I'm more than happy to. Because, like I said, we had a lot of people reach out after last week that really enjoyed it. So I'll let the listeners kind of dictate what we do next
you guys
week,
can always text in and let us know anything that you want the doctor to focus on. And if you want him to touch on any of these areas a little bit deeper, let us know, right? 781-837-4900.
Right, because I think diabetes is such an important topic to talk about.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And it's not just for adults, for kids. This is the other thing we talk about, too.
617 number. Dr. John, please spell the name of the over-the-counter glucose monitoring device. Thank you.
Yeah, Stelo. S-T-E-L-O.
Just one L.
Yep.
Okay.
E-L-O. Okay. Stelo.
Yep.
S-T-E-L-O.
Yep, they're a great company.
Stelo wearable glucose biosensor.
Yep.
By Dexcom.
Yeah, they're terrific. And they're great companies, and I really applaud the people that have worked to develop these.
S-T-E-L-O. I hope that helps you out. 617. Very good. And you can always text in 781-837-4900 as this is an issue that certainly has been with us. Are we more prone here in the United States to diabetes than elsewhere, or is this something?
We are. I mean, the whole crappy food thing and all the other lifestyle stuff has finally hit the federal government. Yeah. So it's going to be a very interesting year.
What about if somebody wanted to wear this device because they were curious?
Well, then they should.
Okay.
This is the thing. This is the thing. You have a family history. You're not feeling well. It's inexpensive.
Right.
And it's well worth doing. And, for people that have, let's say they're curious or more than curious because they have family history, I've had patients do the CGM, and I said, look, you don't need to necessarily use this all the time, but use it for a couple weeks. And then, if you're not diabetic or seriously pre-diabetic, leave it off for a month and then start to wear it again and see if your changes have made a difference.
Right, because it's almost like you can get affordable lab work.
Well, that's huge. It's absolutely huge. And you're not sticking yourself with, finger pricks. And I still have people that are, because they don't have CGMs, that are sticking themselves 4 times a day because they're diabetic and so on.
So it gets tough.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It gets tough. And it gets expensive.
Right.
It gets, and this is one of the things, honestly, I think this is something should be covered by health insurance.
Totally.
Hands down. Shouldn't even be a question.
It seems like a no-brainer sometimes.
It is.
You have a piece of equipment that is obviously not too expensive. Why not try to get that in the hands of as many people?
Exactly.
I agree. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Right.
And we could talk about that till the cows come home. But I
know. We could talk about insulin too. I mean, insulin. It seems to be unfortunately controversial.
Well, it's all case dependent. It's all patient dependent. But the nice thing about the Dexcom and the Libre for insulin dependent diabetics is we can manage them a whole lot better.
Yeah.
That with insulin pumps and. Oftentimes, if for a very difficult patient, I'll get assistance from endocrinologists to help with our patients and so on. But tight diabetic control is huge, and prevention wherever we can do it.
Gray Wolf texting in this morning, and I think he says, "Doctor, I'm having trouble keeping my number normal." I wonder if he's talking about, I guess, a blood sugar?
Yeah, so if the blood sugar is not normal, your doctor needs to know.
Yeah.
And some of it could be lifestyle related, some of it could be medication related. There could be other things going on in your body that need to be attended to by a physician.
Right, because you could be doing everything right and that number could still be wonky.
Yes, well, this is why the CGMs are a game changer. Because you're not waiting, we'll see what your sugar's like in 90 days.
That's a great point,
Yeah,
actually.
I know. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Wow.
So,
all right, good stuff. Again, Continue to text us if you have any questions for Dr. John Hayes or something for a future segment. And then if you want to text him or call his office, I'll give you that number. It's 781-659-7989, 781-659-7989. That's the text or call number to Dr. John Hayes. His office is located in Marshfield. Right, Doctor?
Absolutely. Right up the street.
Head on over and see Dr. John Hayes. Make that call. drjohnhayesjr.com, drjohnhayesjr.com. He's got a great website with a ton of information and always posts up a lot of these topics that we discussed if you really want to take a deeper dive. Right, Doctor?
Absolutely.
Dr. John Hayes, thanks for coming in.
Yay.
Thank you, Rob.
We love seeing you, Doctor.
Paul.
Always.
Yeah. See you guys, too. All right. Take
Talk
care.
to you next week. That's
Yes.
Dr. John Hayes, 95.9 WATD.